So I'd like to start this way, to ask you that. Now, if you look at where our country is today, the totality of the present,
yes,
what kind of future do you think is ahead of us?
Well, if you look at the state of the nation today, look at behind and future, you find out that it's very bleak. If you look at our conference yesterday, in 1982-84, we had a similar conference, and I listed what we identified at that time as the problem of a country, and they are still the same today. Corruption, foreign influence on the country, people cheating the Nigerian people stealing our money and taking abroad. Exactly the same thing, even worse now, because it's even worse.
And that was like
that's
40 years ago.
40 years ago. That's still where we are today. So nothing has changed. And when you look at future, it's even more dangerous.
Good morning, everyone. The president of the academic staff of University Union, ASUU, he was on the Inside Source Chinese television program the day before yesterday, and this man made a shocking revelation about the future of Nigeria. He said that the future of Nigeria is very dark. He talks about how he, as a poor guy growing up, that he benefited from, free education and so on and so forth. And he talks about why there is no hope in the future of Nigeria. It might interest you to listen to what this man said to the end, not because of anything biased, but it is important we speak the truth as it is. Take a listen.
Is the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you.
I was an observer, for 2 days at your State of the Nation conference at NUC, and I said that it's important to have a conversation with you, representing, that group of Nigerian intellectuals. So I'd like to start this way, to ask you that. Now, if you look at where our country is today, the totality of the present,
yes,
what kind of future do you think is ahead of us?
Well, if you look at the state of the nation today, look at behind and future, you find out that it's very bleak. If you look at our conference yesterday, in 1982-84, we had a similar conference, and I listed what we identified at that time as the problem of a country. And they are still the same today. Corruption, foreign influence on the country, people cheating the Nigerian people stealing our money and taking abroad. Exactly the same thing, even worse now, because it's even worse.
And that was like 40 years ago.
40 years ago. That's still where we are today. So nothing has changed. And when you look at future, it's even more dangerous. Bleak. As at 1994, people had hope. Someone like me from a very poor background, I could look at the newspaper, see an advert, I will apply, and I'm employed. But today, have you seen adverts? Have people seen being employed? People are just brought in to godfatherism, slot, and what have you. So that the best brain, if not for that period of time, people like us will not be in the university system. You are being trained, the system will train you, pay you bursary. At least we are moving. Primary school, we're working. Secondary school, we're working. All those big men you see at so-called big men positions today, they all attended by public schools. But today, they are succeeded in killing the public primary and secondary schools. They will not allow their children to attend those schools. They are even come to the tertiary now. They also try to ensure that it does not work. It doesn't bother them because their children are abroad. They carry their children and send abroad. So this one can go. So when you look at that, look at it from that angle, the future is very bleak. Two, another one, the best brain, those who are really not really people who are committed to this country, who have the zeal to see if we can change this country, are all leaving the country. The medicals, the lecturers, the people in ICT, they are leaving.
Wow.
So you can know the impact of what that will have for us in future. Then very dangerously, then you have this huge mass of the children of the poor who cannot go outside, who cannot go to public school, who they have gone midway in their university and they are dropped out because they cannot pay school fees.
Wow.
These people were very beautiful, very brilliant. They are the danger of the future. But it's very big pool from which these bandits, these kidnappers can go and harvest and used against this country. So I do hope that the leaders will look at this from this angle and look for a way forward who can take care of this big pool of people who have no future. Just imagine a country where, as we are today, minimum wage, let's say it is 70,000 naira. The private sector is still paying 15,000, 20,000. Can 70,000 take care of a family of 2? Less than a bag of rice. Less than 70 loaves of bread. Can that take care of people, take care of those families? So what happened to those families? Some will die.
Wow.
Because let's assume you are now 60, 70, 80, and you have this diabetes, you have blood pressure, and you have all these things. You die because you cannot afford the medication. The free medical distance is not there again. So that is the bleak future you are having. And there's no sign that we're going to change. That, honestly, to be fair, we were told, let me take this one.
Okay.
NNPC told us that by September, they have been saying it all along, that by September,
we have the
Warri and Port Harcourt will start producing. Did they produce?
Not yet. I think they came up with a new excuse.
How many times have they done that in the past 10 years?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So nothing is going to change. So when somebody came out and used the money and built the refinery, and you say you are the only one who will market the product, what would that happen in the world? Somebody have used money to build a refinery that can service this whole country. So the nation, the leadership needs to sit him down and negotiate with him. We will give you crude as X amount, but you must sell fuel as Y amount for the interest of Nigerian people. Somebody say you are the one who goes, and that will increase the prices. That's what you should do. You should sit the person down. In the interest of Nigeria, we'll give you crude at this amount, but you must sell fuel at this amount. At the interest of the people. And then you have solved the problem. But we are fighting him.
Well, I mean, let's hope on that score that the matters will still be sorted out. Let's, because clearly the public opinion is very certain that Nigerians, embrace this idea of a local private refinery, and that our energy security at least can be secured. But Prof, so what? I mean, and I know that this also came up during the conference. So, what is the way out? So, I mean, you guys are scholars, you are intellectuals. What is the way out of this situation?
Thank you very much. In the earlier part, 60s, 70s, and even the 80s, when you have a crisis, you put a committee, a group of egghead people, not politicians, people, the academics together to help you develop a pathway to go to solve our problem. Not taking irrational action, or what you call it, you just take an action. No, you have to look at the background. That's what we have done yesterday. Look at the background, analyze it, bring people. Look at what we did. To be very fair, I want to thank some of these people like General Williams, Shola Williams, just name them. They came actually without any cost, because they believe in this country. So you put these people together to develop a pathway for you, not political. Political interest is just about what they get, not about the future. Nobody think about future.
Unfortunately.
You can be sure by the next year, governance has ended in Nigeria. By next year, the other years will be how you win the next election. So if we put that together, let them analyze. But let me tell you what we did. When we were on strike, the president, Mr. President, was in touch with us.
Okay, that was before he
was elected. When we were on strike in 2022.
Okay.
And when he was elected, we still
what did he tell you then?
We solve all this problem. We solve all the problem. We made solve all the problem. So when I was elected, what we did was quickly put a team of very strong-brained economists, listen together, and we came out with a blueprint of what we think we can give to you to look at and give the community to analyze.
Okay.
And we wrote, requesting for a meeting. Today we didn't get a reply.
But he met you before he was elected?
Not once, not twice. And we wrote, till now no reply. We also wrote again recently, about, I think around June, July. Okay. And we even put it in the proper, now so that people know what we are doing. We wrote and put it as an open letter to the president.
I mean, just for the sake of public accountability, I'm going to ask you, and it's going to be your choice. Who did you write to? Did you write to the chief of staff? Did you write to the secretary of the government? Who in government did you write to?
We wrote to the president. Direct.
Yeah, but things don't get to the president directly. It has to go through some people.
Well, that is what we probably have as a country.
Okay, well, I see your point.
But when we thought that the first one we wrote was so the one we put it public.
Yeah.
so that he will know. We put it public, so that's why we put the second one on the public. Two newspaper, Punch and Tribune.
So you've not had any kind of response, even an acknowledgement?
Not even acknowledgement.
And it's interesting because, you know, just a few days ago, we had a guest here, you know, Chief Yemi Farobi, who said that when he was a student at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, as a student, he wrote a letter to then military head of state, General Gowon, and he got a reply, and written reply. And that's why I was trying to press the issue that, okay, look, I mean, who got that letter? But, you know, it's, let's leave that, let's leave that matter. So let's go back to the kind of reforms that you think has to take place. So what were the essence, the substance of what you wrote to him in terms of reforms?
Well, we have the document. It's a big document. As academics, more than 100 page document, because that will address virtually all the issues. But let me tell you, let's see whatever the content of the letter is.
Okay.
In a country that want to grow, when there is a government have an issue, have a problem, you consult the universities to help you resolve those problems. But here nobody does that. That's why you go to the China, they have what they call the triple helix principle.
The triple
helix.
Helix, okay.
Relationship between the government, the universities, and the industry. Government fund the university, university develop the research, give to the university, to the industry, at a cost, definitely, to create something for employment, for production.
For the society.
That is the reason. But here, our universities is ignored. And you see all of them running abroad. And those people you are going to see abroad, they are not as good as your people here. When we go for contests, we are on top. You can ask anywhere.
In any case, they can't even have the interest.
They will not and they will not develop it. So we'll keep on running abroad. Foreign partner. You have the partners here. Let me give you an example. Nigeria was using IPPIS or still using IPPIS to pay salaries. It was given to them by IMF and World Bank. They develop for them, for which we are paid in dollar every month, every salary, every year. They are paid for everybody every year. And we say it's not going. The thing is, this cannot solve our problem. They disagree. Then one of our meeting, the then Minister of Labour, challenged us, that government challenging us to produce something better than it.
Yes, I remember that.
It took us 3 months. What will be paying this money for? It take us 3 months to produce it. And they said, no, we go for a test. We say, fine. But when the foreigner gave you IPPIS, you didn't subject it to a test. But you said they must test. We say, fine. So we tested it, and the first time it tested is called 97.3%. By their own result, government result, NIPDA. They said, no, there is issue with integrity. We say, fine. Now let's test all of them together. And UTAS came distant first. Out of the 3 tested, IPPIS came distant last. But we still insist on using the IPPIS.
That means government still insisted on using it.
Today, in December, this regime, to be fair to them, directed that all tertiary institutions should be exited from IPPIS.
Okay.
As I speak so, they pay my salary in September with IPPIS. Even when the President and FAC, Federal Executive Council, have directed, say, remove these people in December last year. September 2024, the Accountant insists on paying with that.
So there's a directive from the President.
And not they seem to obey.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's there. Today, I was paid.
The President made a directive and FEC made a decision.
The higher decision-making bodies make a decision.
That they shouldn't use IPPIS anymore for universities.
With effect from January
2024. And now you are saying that in September,
I still be paid with IPPIS.
What do you think is the excuse for that?
That is why when you hear that we are on strike, that is why. When government make promises, that's why we don't.
Did you put this to the Minister for Education?
They are aware.
So what did he say to you?
Nothing.
He has no response?
We got directed to go ahead and implement it. Today, not implemented. So that's why when United say we go on strike, and government say we'll do XYZ, we don't believe. So as we were on strike in December, and they say go remove them, and we're in September, we do not. So that is the crisis you have in the system, because somebody is making profit from it.
Yeah.
If not, I don't see why the President and Federal Executive Council will give a directive and will take 10 months to implement.
I think the Ministers of Education has to make an explanation that if indeed you are right, Professor Osodeke, that the President directed and FEC also approved, that something should be done as far back as
December 2023.
Yes. And now we are in October 2024. It hasn't been done.
No.
There is a problem there.
There is.
In my view.
We have raised these issues. We are raising the public with you. The president is aware. Everybody is aware that it's not being done. We have raised it with the minister. Until now, they are still using that same system to pay.
And nobody gives any kind of explanation at all.
Nobody can give you any tangible explanation. And we know what they are doing. Very likely they are now gone to their principal again outside to develop something for them also.
No, but the president has said that they should be exited.
Yes, but it's not exited. Did anything happen to anybody?
Did that directive include that they should use that UTAS or
we are not even saying use UTAS.
No, the directive.
No, it didn't include so. But what we are saying, before in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 2000, the law of every university has a provision that it is the governing council that will manage the finances of the university.
Yeah, financial autonomy.
Not the office of Secretary General. Therefore, what you should do, and we have said it is even the most secured. Every year, the vice chancellors go and defend their budget. And budget X amount is approved for a university. That's your money. You can prorate it, you can give them to their monthly basis or go their quarterly as was done in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s.
Right.
Or you give them. At the end of the year, these VCs will not come and account for that money you are giving to them before they get the next one.
Right.
That is accountability. But now, one office is doing all the payment, VCs don't know how much is paid, they don't know who is being paid. I can speak to you and I'm saying it to the public. There are many people today who are no more staff of universities, who are that gone abroad, who are seeing any salary using IPPIS.
Wow.
In this country, not just in a university, but all over. And there's no way the VC will know. Because it doesn't know who is being paid. It doesn't know how it's being paid. Now, university, you cannot even punish many staff. You punish it, you put him on suspension, he still get his salary.
Because it's been centrally...
It's centralized on somewhere, and there's no way you can capture everybody. So that is where we are going. So we want to appeal to Mr. President. Please, let Nigeria implement decision taking. If the cannot, then suspend him, let somebody else do it.
No, I mean, I think this is a very serious...
It's a very serious thing, and it's there. And this is why you see the problem of strike or no strike in the system.
Okay, I mean, since you brought up the issue of the strike, so you also issued a statement a few days ago that you have a 2 weeks notice.
Yes.
Can you bring us up to speed? What that's about?
We have given that notice. We gave 21 days earlier. No response.
Yeah. We
now gave 2 weeks again.
But you have met. I remember there was a time that you guys came to Abuja and met the minister. When was that?
Yes, and that's when we gave that 21. But there were just promises. Did you see anything? Did anything happen? Nothing. Not even this common issue we talked about because it was there. This common issue say implement fact decision. Has it been implemented? So that is it. So that's why we say, my members are telling us, don't come to us with promises. We want to see action. Because all the points they have made in the past, none was implemented.
I mean, it's quite, embarrassing, because I think that there's a problem, with us as a people if the only language that government responds to is the language of force.
That's what we're
I mean, because if you gave you said a 21 days notice.
Yes.
When is the end of that 21 days?
It ended 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. So you didn't have any kind of communication at all?
Like we said, we met with the minister. They made promises.
During the 21 days?
Yes.
Okay.
The promises.
Okay.
Like one of them, they will release some money for revitalization. They will set up a committee to negotiate with us. But as far as I'm concerned, it's okay. But till now, none has been implemented. Nothing has been done.
So they haven't set up that committee to negotiate with you?
We have not got any letter. We have not got any letter telling us we set a committee. We are still hearing, yes, they have set it up, they want to set it up. That's what we are hearing. We now get 14 days because as a union, so that what we have been doing before they pass is that we reinstate a strike that was suspended.
Yeah.
But the last one was stopped by a court.
Yes.
This one now say we are following the procedure. And the law says you must give 21 days notice. And that expired. We say, okay, to also give the government authority, we are giving you additional 14 days.
After the 21?
After the 21 days. And still nothing.
So when is that 14 days going to elapse?
And or Tuesday next week.
Tuesday next week.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So hopefully we heard, we hear some kind of, because I hate to imagine that the authorities we again let this thing go to a strike, because the problem with a strike, and like I was saying to you before, I in my younger days as a reporter, I covered ASUU strike of 1992, and it took maximum 7-8 weeks. And that was a military government. That was a military government, 8 weeks. The matter was sorted. I remember it was Babangida that was head of state, and they had to go and bring Obasanjo, if you remember then, who was like the mediator between ASUU, and then had a very solid agreement. So it bothers me, even when I was serving in government, that a democratic government will take that long. Although part of the argument, and I wanted you to react to that, was that the kind of resources that ASUU was asking for, that government couldn't afford it. That was presented to you.
Now, I will answer that, but let me start from during Obasanjo era. Okay. In the 90s, 1990.
Right.
We negotiated with the government, and we arrived at some financial requirement. And the president, they said, we don't have such money. How can we generate it? We now said, okay, give us 1 week to go and think, and we'll come back to you. So we went back. The union went back, sat down, and analyzed, rubbed mind, and said, well, we have companies in this country that are making profits. If we see if we can channel 2% of that profit to funding education as intervention, we solve the problem. And we now drafted a decree that gave to Babangida. And they agree with it. Sign. That is the third fund you have today. Nice. You can see the impact today.
I remember.
So, you see, that is a military. You told you, challenge us, go and look for it. I will got it for you.
And they did it.
And they did it, and it's working today. Everybody is working. They want to turn it to loan now. Want to not take that money that's going to use intervention to loan, to become a bank, to go and put in a bank, to give money, to give loan to students. Because of, but and even this one, we have done the same thing. We have done the same thing. The challenger has a time, and we also put the community together, led them by Professor Muzali Jubre. And we also came with similar thing.
So tell us about it. Tell us about it.
That was one of the origin of this issue of stamp duty. That was one. That was one of the things that led to stamp duty.
I see.
We say stamp duty, give 50% to education.
Is that being implemented now?
It's being implemented, but it's not given to the system.
Okay.
It became their own. So we listed a number of them. There are many companies today, they call cash cow. They have some reserve money for community development. CBN, NAP, what have you? Let me give it with the CBN. For a very long time, we have a CBN governor. We never knew there was fund there that could use in the university.
Okay, what fund was that?
I was like, wait, man. Okay. Until the Emir of Kanu, Sanusi, came in and decided to use the money the way it should be used. There is no federal university today that you don't have a project done by Sanusi region.
When it was CBN government?
Yes, because the fund was there. The biggest building in my university is CBN. Go to Union Abuja, CBN. Go to Jos, everywhere. For the 4 years, he was there before he was sacked. But since another one came in, have you seen anything done in the university by CBN? Zero. So those were the things we looked at as a union, and we discussed with the government, and then we came with those things. If what Sanusi did when he was CBN governor,
if he was sustained,
if all the CBN had been doing it, we would not be talking about projects in universities. But the next one came, and that is the end. There's a new person there, and I hope there's nobody talking about that fund again. They call it for community development. They call it community social responsibility. It's there.
So the
person will ask, we should ask, if they are watching it, if the CBN governor is watching me, how did Emir Sanusi generate those money to put projects in all the federal and many state universities in this country within 4 years? How come Emefiele couldn't put one anywhere? How come the president have not even thought about that? How come all those who were there, including, have not been able to do anything?
Yeah, let's hope that Governor Cardoso, he is a progressive.
Wait, you're supposed to say, in office. Has he done that? Have you seen any project in any university? Go to Uniport. Go to ABU, more than 2 or 3. That is it. So these funds are there. This was promoting. According to the number of them, we listed even an agreement we want to sign with government, so that we have finished. They are there. How we can raise the fund? Because education is number one in any country.
Oh yes.
We did a survey in the West African country. The least budgetary allocation any country in West Africa give to education is 15%. The least. Ghana give more than 20.
In Africa?
In West Africa, not in West Africa, West Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But Nigeria gives less than 8%.
So the average is 15.
The lowest is 15.
Oh, the lowest is 15.
Yeah, but Nigeria is less than 10.
So Nigeria is lower.
The lowest in the country.
In the sub-region.
The giant of Africa. You can see the implication. Like I told you, when I was a student, State University, and I'm so proud of it. In my department, Rivers State University of Science and Technology then, in my department then, there were lecturers teaching from five different countries, teaching in that department. One Lognata from Sri Lanka, my supervisor from Sierra Leone, a lady from Ethiopia, 5 teaching in one department. Today, go and check any university in Nigeria where you see any foreign lecturer.
There are none? There are none.
Go and check those days you can sit on the same classroom with students from UK, from US, on the same classroom having lecture. Go and check any Nigerian whether you see any foreign student in Nigerian universities.
Wow.
Because we have succeeded. Meanwhile, we are busy running around. There's a report that Nigeria spend more than 600 million pounds on as tuition fee in UK university in 2023.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
600, convert that, multiply that by 1,500. We're talking of almost 2 trillion we spent as tuition fee. But what we have been fighting here over the past, how many years? 11 years, is for the government to put 1.3 trillion in Nigerian public universities, spread over 5 years. They have refused. Wow. Because if our university is working, we will make so much money from students from outside paying in hard currencies.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be the case, you know.
In those days.
I remember, I was in, I grew up in Ibadan. You know, and not only was UCH, you know, a global standard.
The people were coming from outside for treatment.
Yeah, people are coming for treatment, and then a lot of international professors in UI, a lot of. Now, so now, in terms of the current demands, so it's around the increase for funding.
There should be increased funding. There should be increased the emolument, what a professor earns.
Yeah.
A university is universal.
Yes.
So a professor in a University of Abuja
should be comparable.
Should be a comparable professor anywhere in the world, because they can go anywhere in the world and be professors.
Yeah.
And they're already doing that. There's no university you enter in Nigeria in the world today, you not see a Nigerian professor.
True.
Go anywhere, you not see a Nigerian professor. Which means, this professor, you have to pay some competitive salary that will enable people. But they start comparing. Now, you know what they do with the government? When we're not, they start comparing us with the public service and civil servant, which is not correct. Because university is completely different. Universal.
Yeah.
I go to program all over the country. I go to for program.
Right.
The way people come here.
Right.
Therefore, you should not be rating them with the public service.
It wasn't like that before.
No, the highest earner those days was apart from the Chief Justice of the Federation, the next are the professors.
Yeah.
But today, a professor earn not more than professor at the beginning earn about $200 a month. At the top, maximum $300.
Wow.
A month.
So the highest paid Nigerian professor
is about $300 a month,
which is about 400,000.
$470,000 a month.
That's the max take home.
The highest person who has spent. I spent 9 years. I spent 9 years.
Of science.
No. 9 years professor at the bar.
Wow. So
for 15 years as a professor.
Right.
15.
Wow.
And I earned 470,000 a month.
Hi.
And you see professors, all these elderly professors you see who have been there for more than 20, 30 years, they earn the same amount.
Incredible. No, I mean, there's a problem with that.
That is it. So we must change it, because if you want to compare globally, you must also look at that category of lecturer, so that a lecturer can come from any country, come and do sabbatical here, adjunct. But don't come and here to pay $2,000. I want $200 for that professor, or $500 or $300. Yeah. What is that?
It's interesting because I was speaking with a Nigerian professor in the US who just retired, and he was telling me his experience when they used to have, NUC used to have a diaspora professor system where they paid those who came from diaspora, you know, maybe they lecture in Nigerian university for a year or so, they paid them $2,000, you know, monthly. So I was thinking that, okay, if NUC had the good sense to pay you know, a visiting professor $2,000, you know, why are we paying the incumbent and the substantive professors here
$300?
$300? It just doesn't add up.
That is it.
It is, you know, and it is a great concern without a doubt, you know, because it tells us, or it tells of us as a people, the things that we value. And we are sending a mental image. We are sending a signal. If I'm saying that, okay, this guy's a professor, you know, 15 years, the maximum that he can get paid is 400,000. But we have a House of Representative member who probably didn't even have a first degree because it's not required. And he's taking over 20 million naira
a month.
You know, when you include his the running costs, and then those running costs go into their, it comes to them, not that it goes to their office. It goes to them, you know, and you know, some of the lawmakers, federal lawmakers, have been honest enough to give us the information that, look, this is what they pay me. I mean, they say that my salary is $1 million, but I also get 20 million monthly as running costs. How much running cost does a department in a federal university get, Professor Osudeke?
Let me give you this, which is, you can check. University like University of Lagos, their running cost in a year, it's about 150 million.
The whole year?
A whole year.
The university?
Yes, divide by 12. It gives you less than about 10 to 12 million naira a month.
The whole university?
The whole university. You can ask them, call the VCs and ask them. You can bring them here. They'll tell you. The lower universities got 90 million. And
for the whole year?
Yes. You can be sure some, they will not even release all of them.
Yeah.
And that's why you see the problem in the system. So you give. And then, you know, it was brought in by these foreign people who came here to be Minister of Finance or what have you. Where they have to do what they call envelope system of budget. Not need-based budget, but envelope system. You just say, university, first generation university, your budget for running costs is 150 million. So ABU, Unilag, all of them, 150 million. Second generation is 120 million. The other one is 100 million. So you don't care what they need.
And the universities are always supposed to be, they are supposed to be autonomous.
Yeah.
That's why they have councils.
And they don't even get that money. And you know what? Students now pay fee. Student pays fee. They pay, we call them charges. Hostel, what have you. And the National Assembly, and they are here, like, you listen to me. We ask university, for this little money these students pay to run the university, they should refund 25% to the government, to the federal account. Which means that students, the little money they pay for ICT, for this, the government will not want to take 25% and give to the government. And if you don't do it, they harass you.
Yes. Oh, wow.
So where do you have that happening in the world?
It's actually a very...
Students, you are not funding the system. These two parents, children of the poor men in the city, they contribute money to take care of their, in night, they have access to light, have access to water, have access to ID card, and you say, take money from there and give to government.
When did that start?
It has been there. And we didn't know until recently, as a union.
Incredible. So when you met now President, you know, you discussed some of this thing. Did you have a very, I wanted to describe the kind of meeting that you had. Was it just, did you just broach the issue, or did you sit down? You know, tell us.
As at that time, it was just intervening when we were on strike.
Okay.
It wasn't in charge. It was intervening. It was just intervention. And we must commend him for that.
Of course.
You know, the chief of staff was one who ended our strike.
Yes, I remember. I remember, yeah.
So, but not the government. We thought that all these issues would have been resolved immediately.
Yeah. So
they were aware of the issue that were on ground.
So when you were saying that you are writing to the president, you know, I mean, the chief of staff is somebody that you guys have worked with. Why don't you ask him that, look, we've sent a letter to the president. We don't even have a response. Why don't you ask him, Prof? If you ask him, he worked with you.
If you have access.
Okay. Anyway, I understand very well. So, well, you know, I mean, it's quite a very, you know, almost depressing issue when you look at...
Let me explain to you. In the past 3 months, from May to August, Nigerian University lost 84 academics to death.
Wow.
In 3 months. because of what our people are passing through. Yes, with this crisis, you are holding somebody 3.5 more salary. You are owing somebody 3.5 more salary on the no work, no pay. You are owing his money. People are trying to survive. You have introduced fuel increase. You have introduced electricity increase. You have everything is gone.
Now, you believe that some of these subsidies. So let's talk about the subsidies. Because I know that ASUU has an ideological understanding of it, and to a very reasonable extent. Let's debate that. So the current United Nations General Assembly, one of the highlights of the current hunger is that the global financial architecture is not in the interest of developing countries. And the argument is very simple, that a lot of those developing countries, pay a significant portion of their resources as debt servicing. Look at Nigeria, for instance. The finance minister said that we have now reduced our debt servicing, which used to cost over 90% of our income. It has reduced to 60%. Good development, if you say, but that is still a significant portion. So this current hunger is trying to say that we need to restructure the global financial architecture in such a way that developing countries will be freer and resources will go in instead of coming out, to the Bretton Woods institution. What do you say to that, Prof?
Well, it's we don't believe in those things they're saying, but they are the cost of this high debt in the country. We were told before Obasanjo left that we have paid off all our debt.
Yeah.
When one of their agents was the Minister of Finance. Between then, when that debt was paid, and now, what significant things has any government done in this country that generated that heavy debt we are talking about? Refinery was built. No major road was done or maintained. Even from Abuja to Okocha, that have been there for more than 15, 16 years.
Some infrastructure happened under Buhari.
What I'm saying, what have we done that resulted? We are still selling crude. Hope you know.
Yeah.
We're not a job taking, we are carrying crude. What significantly have we done that resulted in that huge debt? That's one question.
That's the point.
The next one is, should we even owe anything as a country? We have all the type of mineral you have in the world, from gold, lithium, this thing. If we harness them by ourselves, not be done by this foreign interlopers, what I want to call them. If it's being done by us, would we owe 1 kobo? We set up a Jakarta steel company, massive. We are putting trillions of dollars.
True.
Since Shagari era.
Certainly billions of dollars.
Has it worked?
No.
We have 3 refineries. All built during the military era. And we are still importing crude of fuel. But let me tell you what's happening. A small group is making profits for where we are, this so-called debt. A very small group is making money. How do they do it? Until we sort this problem out, our refinery cannot work. If they work, you find out that the cost of diesel will be higher when Port Harcourt and so start working. Because a group have heard it. And we have told this government, challenge the academia. In the next 5 years, we'll have no more than 30 refineries in the country. You don't need those giant refineries. You don't. River State should be able to build its own refinery. Bayelsa should be able to build a refinery. Kanu should be able to build. If a small country like Niger, that don't even have access to crude,
they have
a functional refinery that's even exporting fuel, why can't Niger is not bigger than Lagos?
And by the way, in some of the crude, our crude goes there.
Because Niger is not bigger than Lagos.
Yeah.
So why do we have to be importing? We export the crude. Now, what do they do? Exchange. You import the crude, give to a so-called foreign refinery, and you can be sure most of them are owned by Nigerians. They will refine it and send only the petrol to you. The content of petrol in that crude you say is not up to 30%. The fuel, that is the petrol you have there. It's not or diesel. No. Then the people take the other one, and then you pay for this.
Yeah.
Then you not pay the cost of taking the thing to that country. After the refinery, you pay the cost of bringing it back.
Wow.
So something is wrong. So what I mean is that I agree. If those countries, those foreign countries that are holding us like this, allow our country to breathe, you can pay the debt within a short time. You can do anything. When you look at today, this VAT they are collecting, look at the federal allocation now. VAT contribute up to 40% now. Only VAT contribute. You can check it at the end of the month they share. Look at it. VAT contribute up to 40%. So if VAT alone contribute to 40%, this stamp duty, they are in court. If you allow this thing to work, if the taxes are well collected, if custom are doing their work on the road, if all these are happening, we'll not be talking about
debt.
And those countries talking about subsidy, you know, this is Nigeria remove subsidy. I just laughed. When you go to UK and US, especially US, if I'm a citizen and I lose my job, the state take care of me. What do you call that?
Well, they call it social security.
I mean, let's look grammar. It's not a subsidy.
Okay.
If a Nigerian man loses a job, do you give him anything? If a Nigerian man loses a job, will you give him anything?
Well, not maybe they will start tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? So when those countries say remove subsidy, when you are doing even work because far better than subsidy.
Even in the US, their Greek subsidies are quite significant.
Good. And you are telling your country, they will tell you, IMF and OPA say remove subsidy, you remove this. And the reason is very clear. Why our refinery cannot work, and they are dealing with Dangote today. You know why? There are countries who are interested. If Nigeria refinery start working, many of the number of refineries outside the country will lose their customers.
Yeah.
So for them, don't work, we'll be giving you. And we're so happy doing it.
Interesting. But the other thing about the subsidy, and I personally am of the view that there has to be some form of subsidy regardless. Maybe makes sense to reduce it, but I don't think that it's possible to cut it off. Look, the President Tinubu in May 29, 2023 said subsidy is gone, but we all know that, a couple months after, they themselves couldn't, allow the rise, the increasing pump price. They couldn't. So subsidy came back, in a form. And even now that, NNPC is selling for close to maybe 897, 900, and then 1,000 of places, there is still a little bit of subsidy. So I personally think that we have to find a way to put some subsidies just to put a lead on the stuff. But the counter argument is that we are spending a lot of money on subsidy, and with the suspicion, I think it's even more than suspicion, that a lot of it is even stolen. So we need to have, in my view, a thorough overhaul and investigation of what is happening in the oil and gas sector. What do you say?
Look, we as a union of intellectuals, we don't believe there is subsidy that you were in the first place. We don't. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
If we have 10 refineries working, which we can do, if the custom who are the border are doing their job,
that's a big if.
Then will you be talking about subsidy? All you need to do is that we have the crude. We are not importing crude. If we are serious, we have the crude. What you can do is that tell this the refinery, instead of which, if a crude what do you call it? A crude is selling abroad for $80.
Yes.
We will sell to you here for $20. But you said, yes, it's our own. What are going to be paid for the cost of drilling and transportation?
Yeah. I mean, Donald Duke said this on my show.
Good. We're going to be selling for you at $30 or equivalent to, don't call dollar. We're going to sell you at 200 naira or 300 naira or 1,000 naira.
Yeah.
And then, but when you refine the fuel, you must let's put it together. I'll tell you how much if you sell the fuel, give a profit or maybe 10% for you.
Right.
What will we now give to our Nigerian people? And then you have sorted it. And then God has also given us, and I'm really shocked, I'm telling you, that you now have a refinery in Nigeria. You have a refinery in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That the capacity, I have been there. The capacity can give us, the whole country, all the fuel we need.
That we need, yes.
So why talk about importation? Sit him down, he's a Nigerian, negotiate the cost of bringing the crude, reduce the price of crude, but you must say to our people at this price.
I think that the president has given instructions that, at least to start with, the transaction between I mean, with Dangote has to be in Naira, you know, to your point.
If they don't implement our IPPIS withdrawal, how do you think that they will implement that?
Oh, but what? No, but that's...
No, it depends. Who gave the directive? If they implement this simple thing, remove teacher education from IPPIS.
Well, I think the president put one of his more reliable heads, you know, Mr. Zach, who is the chairman of FRS. I think he put him in charge of that, and I think, you know, let's give him a chance, Prof, because he seems to understand what it is that has to happen. It's in line with what you said, to say that, look, we are going to denominate this in Naira.
That is one.
You know, and then, I mean, since it is here, we have some energy security. It's our own, you know, but let's wait, because we don't know the price that is going to come out. But I am hopeful, you know, that we might be able to sort that out.
If you say just sell in Naira, we have not done anything. All they need to do is to multiply how much they were selling in dollar by Naira, and that's the price. Now, we don't think the way our bureau people, they don't think that way. They just do multiplication. Look, I will give you a typical example, which is very laughable when I look at it. They agree on minimum wage.
Yes.
70,000 naira minimum wage.
Right.
They say, okay, do consequential adjustment. What they were doing in those days, they would calculate purchases, and it cannot be the same thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Go up. What did they do this time? They just add 40. If you remove 30, 70 minus 30 is what?
It's 40.
They just add 40 to everybody to the top. This so consumer adjustment, what they did was for every person they added 40,000 naira.
They gave 4,000 to everybody.
Yes, that's what they did. So that's in terms of risk. Before they would use mathematical this thing and calculate up.
Exactly.
So that somebody is level one.
Geometric.
Yes, but now they just added 40 to everybody.
Is it because government don't have enough money?
Look, I said where we are now.
I know.
Where we are. You see, for me, so most of us, we are getting close to the point. I pity for the younger generation. I pity for the younger generation. So, they will look for the easiest way out of problem. For the government side, they look at the easiest way out of government, not resolving the problem. Look, the idea you just sit down one morning and say, first subsidy is gone. It wasn't a good idea. You should have sat down, put a team together. Don't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
Let them review the whole thing. What do we do? Yeah. What do we do? Then before you do, we are going to review first. We are going to reduce incrementally 30%,
right.
20%. When you do that, we will not be where we are today. Every Nigerian today who is not a political officer, that we are all, including you, we are all suffering.
Yeah, I mean, very clearly.
We are suffering. Coming from where, if I come with a vehicle, I spend almost 100,000 naira on fuel.
On fuel.
Fuel alone. So, that is where we are. That has created so much problem for the country. But we could have avoided that problem.
Sure, we could.
Yeah, this issue of debt. I also don't believe that there's a need to study it. They need to study it. Look, I've seen people, government will say, we are taking, they will tell you, we are getting assistance to tar this road. But it's not assistance, it's debt with interest. Hey, what bank are giving the Nigerian aid? America, they don't give you aid. They give you this with debt. But what do we do for them? The late Asawa Fasaba, when we were struggling, he called me.
The old man?
Yes, the late. I was saying, do you know we give more assistance to America, Canada, and what than they give to us? I said, it's not us, sir. He said, let me tell you how we give you assistance. I said, okay. Say, you have no year more than 1,000 doctors will not leave Nigeria for those countries. I said, yes. How much does Nigeria use to train those doctors?
That's true.
Lecturer, how many leave? Nurses, after training the year they leave. Say when you add all those money together, you used to train them that will not give it to those countries for free. It's more than whatever they give you as so-called aid with interest, which is correct.
It's something to really
which is very correct.
Reflect. Wow. Okay, Prof, because of our time, I wanted to also ask you about since your conference was about the state of the nation, what's your own view on the question of security? As the last question, because of our time, do you support state police, or do you support the idea of using mercenaries to help deal with the situation? I wanted to know what's the thinking of ASUU on the question of insecurity.
Thank you very much. The number one solution to security is education.
Also?
No. Education, we make sure that our people are educated. You don't look. How many people are out of school today? You must bring them back to school to give them some idea, knowledge. that carrying gun is not the solution. Two, we must create job. Somebody graduate today. We gave a lift to some young ladies. They came to serve us during this thing.
Okay.
And it's up to 5 of them. Many of them graduated 4, 5, 6 years ago. None of them had a job.
Wow.
And the state is all over. We must look for how we can create jobs instead of this importation. Then 3, we must ensure that security people do their job. And they are empowered to do their job. The time I had the opportunity to give a DPO a lift, I was coming to Okocha. And we were discussing, I said, do you know that what I get a month to run the district is 50,000 naira?
Yeah.
How do you think we can use 50,000 to run the district?
Yeah, and we are paying 20 million to running costs for senators and.
That is it. Say what he gets.
A DPO.
He couldn't use his vehicle because there's no fuel. I had to give him a lift. That he get 50,000 naira to run a district in a month. 2, the security also, we have very intelligent security men. But we're not doing what we should do. In other part of the world, if I do anything, and I make phone call with this phone,
yes,
the system know where I am.
Right.
Why is it not happening in Nigeria? That you see people who kidnap people, you will spend 3 months negotiating on phone. And security apparatus does not know.
Thank you so much, Professor Sowore, for coming to Inside Sources. Thank you for the service that you and ASUU is rendering. I like I said, I believe ASUU is one of the most prominent civil societies in Nigeria, and it's important for their voices to be heard. I wish that the issue of strikes can be better managed, but it's quite embarrassing. Like you've told us today, how difficult it is to even have basic communication back and forth with government. But let's hope that it will get better.
Thank you. As I speak to you, our members are angry with me. We are giving this government 1 year and 6 months to see how we can resolve without going on strike. And nothing to show my member. And they're angry with me.
Well,
and with my principal officer.
hopefully.